Here's check on stories we're following for you on Robin Hood Radio. Well, yesterday, the Region 1 Middle School Athletic and Activity Committee meeting decided to suspend middle school sports and activities until further notice. That decision came on the heels of the CIAC pushing back the start of sports at least 2 weeks in Connecticut on the recommendation of the Department of Health. In Falls Village, First Selectman Henry Todd reported Cardinal Engineers submitted a report showing what work needed to be done to extend the life of some of the town's spans, and the one on Cobble Road likely would have to be replaced. Quote, extending them for 7 to 10 years is better than replacing, end quote, Todd told the Board of Finance. He said the selectmen would sit down with road crew foreman Tim Downs to discuss the issue. The town crew could probably do a lot of the work, he said. Finance members Steve Dean and John Allen agreed to serve on a committee with selectmen and Downs. Out of North Canaan, the food truck ordinance is too strict. That, according to citizen comments in a story in this morning's Republican American. The Board of Selectmen put off acting on 3 proposed ordinances dealing with a tax incentive, blight, and food trucks that members have been working on for quite a while. It's expected they'd be voted on this past Monday, but the board wanted to consider concerns raised by citizens. Selectman Craig Whiting said he received comments about the food truck ordinance being too restrictive, while others say the fees aren't enough. He plans to confer with town attorney Randall DeBella and the committee proposing the ordinance before the board votes on it. First Selectman Charles Perotti said he'd like to have a special meeting devoted to the ordinance to allow time for public comment. Taking a look at some meetings coming up in our area. Dutchess County BOCES is hosting full town hall meetings for the BOCES community regarding reopening schools, scheduled for 6 p.m. The meetings will cover identical topics but are offered at different times for the convenience of families. The links to the meetings will be available on their website, dcboces.org. Participants will be able to ask questions during the meeting. You can submit those questions in advance by emailing covidquestions@dcboces.org. Safeguard your cardiac health with cardiologist Dr. Daniel O'Day in a program Noble Horizons is presenting via Zoom from 2 to 3 p.m. He is a veteran cardiologist with the Heart Center, a division of Hudson Valley Cardiovascular Practice, PC, at the Sharon Hospital. He will discuss the importance of not delaying necessary or routine care during the COVID-19 pandemic, providing guidance on how to effectively monitor cardiac wellness from one's home, and explain the steps necessary to safely self-monitor cardiac health. More information, noblehorizons.org. Registration and Zoom information is also available there. In Cornwall, coming up, the Board of Finance has a meeting set for 7 p.m. The Ancram Town Board meeting is at 7 p.m. Pine Plains Town Board workshop meeting will be held on the YouTube page for the Town Board coming up at 7 p.m. Sheffield Historical Society presents an outdoor exhibit celebrating Mumbet, the first slave to successfully sue for freedom, running from Friday the 21st through Sunday the 23rd from 11 to 4 on the Society grounds on 159 Main Street next to the Town Hall parking lot. The exhibit is free and open to the public, following strict social distancing and mask guidelines. More information, sheffieldhistory.org. And the 11th annual Mumbet Walk to Freedom will be held on Sunday the 23rd. You'll meet at the Ashley House on Cooper Hill Road at 9 a.m. Bring your mask and water bottle. The walk follows a 4-mile path through the Sheffield Town Green that Elizabeth Freeman took to file her suit for freedom from slavery. Christ Church Episcopal at 9 South Main Street in Sharon will hold a drive-through school supply giveaway for Region 1 students, public and private schools, on Saturday, August 22nd from 10 until the supply runs out. A limited number of kits, 40, will be available. Recipients are asked to stay in their cars, line up in the driveway and on the roadside. Do not get out of the car, wear a mask, and remain orderly. Parishioners of the Outreach Committee will hand out the supplies and give directions in the driveway entrance. Questions can be directed to the church office at 860-364-5260. There'll be rallies in support of the U.S. Postal Service on Saturday, August 22nd from 11 o'clock at the office in Lakeville and Salisbury. Participants are invited to bring signs demanding better funding for the Postal Service. For more information, contact Amy Lake at amymlake@gmail.com. In other stories we're following for you in the tri-state region, more students at the University of Connecticut have now tested positive for the coronavirus. On Wednesday, the university said there is now a total of 8 students on campus who tested positive. This is out of 5,042 tests that have been performed, showing a 0.16 positivity rate. University officials said all residential students were tested upon arrival to campus before moving into their residence halls. Results also show 3 commuter students have tested positive so far. Tests were sent to off-campus commuter students, and 3 positive cases reflect results from tests the school has received so far. Additionally, 2 faculty and staff members have tested positive out of 2,110 tests performed. In less than a week since the store's campus opened to students, videos have emerged of large student gatherings. Connecticut athletes are planning protests after the CIAC pauses fall sports at the start date for 2 weeks. Another rally is being planned at the CIAC in Cheshire today. Another rally will take place to convince Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference to let athletes start their season. The virus hasn't gone away, and neither has the controversy over whether it's safe to play sports. The CIAC's Board of Control ruled last week it was safe to play. They released a plan that included fewer games, a regional schedule, and social distancing guidelines whenever possible. A day after the CIAC said it was okay to play, the Department of Public Health in Connecticut advised against playing football and girls volleyball, saying those high-risk sports should be canceled or postponed until spring. The CIAC responded by pausing fall sports for 2 weeks. The Pine Plains Fire Company voters gave the nod for a bond for a new pumper. Out of a total of 77 votes cast, 68 votes were in favor of authorizing the fire department to issue the $275,000 in bonds, while 9 votes were against the resolution. When the department's truck committee goes through the bids, the fire company will make a recommendation to its commissioners, who will then accept the bid package for the new pumper. Out of the Millerton News, having engaged in countless discussions about shared services between the town of Northeast and the village of Millerton, town and village officials are waiting patiently for 4 key components of the much-anticipated shared town and village highway garage to come together along Route 22. With 2 phases of the project completed, 1 underway and another anticipated for next year, both municipalities are on their way to having new and improved garage space for their trucks and highway equipment. Discussions regarding the need for a new highway garage have been going on for years, according to Northeast Town Supervisor Chris Kennan, given that both Northeast and Millerton's respective garages are aging and inadequate. As of this time, the town's highway department at 11 South Center Street in Millerton, adjacent to the Webertuck Creek, is falling apart, while the village facility adjacent to Eddie Collins Memorial Field is only in slightly better condition. Jason Alexander, star of stage, screen, and Seinfeld; Patti LuPone, star of stage, screen, and formerly of Kent, Connecticut; Tony Award winner Santino Fontana, Tootsie on Broadway; and Michael McKean, His Spinal Tap, and Better Call Saul, among countless other favorites, are among a dozen actors who will do a stage reading to benefit the Barrington Stage Company in Pittsfield and the Actors Fund. Their performance of Judgment Day, written by Rob Eulin, directed by Matthew Penn, premieres on Saturday, August 22nd at 7:30, and will be available for viewing for 96 hours. For more information and to purchase access, barringtonstageco.org to make your donation. Flu vaccinations will be required for all Massachusetts students 6 months or older who attend child care, preschool, school, and college in Massachusetts to reduce the possibility of a double whammy of respiratory illnesses during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. State health officials announced yesterday students must get influenza vaccines by December 31st. The State Department of Public Health said in a statement, there are some exemptions, including medical and religious reasons, as well as for homeschool children and higher education students who are completely off campus and engaged in remote learning only. Our business brief is underwritten by Morgan's at the Interlaken, interlakenin.com, and on Facebook, and by Salisbury Bank, salisburybank.com. Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 85.19 yesterday, starting off today at 27,692.88. The Nasdaq was down 64.38, starting off today at 11,146.46, and the S&P 500 was down 14.93. It starts off today at 3374.85. We'll take a look at the tri-state forecast. That'll come your way in just a few moments.